Unbroken, and a couple of others that so many folks just seem to know those songs almost routinely, and it can just like fall right into it and everything. Now, one of the things that we like to encourage people, and definitely I'll start off with you, Val, but then we'll come back to Joe. So folks that want to hear your music and hear about you, what are some of the websites that folks can find you, Val, and the whole Liberty Pike Congress folks that you play with? And same with you, Joe, but we'll start with Val. What are some of the ways that people can find your music? I know that it's on YouTube and that you have your website, but if you can share some of that, I'd greatly appreciate it.
Oh, I'm easy to find. The main hub would just be ValerieSmith.net, and they can find me there at ValerieSmith.net, or they can tune in on my radio station, BellBuckleRadio.com. So either one of those areas, but ValerieSmith.net or BellBuckleRadio.com are two good spots.
Okay. And Valerie, before I get to Joe, what's the current record that's out now? And you said you're going to go to the studio. Do you already have a name or a concept for the new record that you're working on?
I have a really interesting project. I just got done releasing I produced this last album that it was kind of the reason why I was on the East Coast was to get that East Coast bluegrass country gentleman feel. I wanted to work with Tom Gray in the studio, so I did this last album, Small Town Heroes, that had that in live studio feel. This next project is based on an old journal that was found in the attic of my great-grandmother's house. Right now I'm in the process of writing the songs, and I'm going to be collaborating with songwriters also on that. And these songs will also be going along with some filmography. And I'll be in the studio producing some of those with different artists, bringing out those songs in the life of Maggie Brooks, and it'll be called The Life of Maggie Brooks. And that's going to be about a 2-year project I'm looking at, and I'll be also working on a separate project with my band. Got 2 songs with them coming up. So I'm excited, a lot going on, but just wanting to take my time to make sure that I'm enjoying the process.
Cool. And Joe, what do you got coming up soon in terms of recordings, or in terms of even maybe going on another Prairie Home cruise or anything?
Don't know about if there'll be another Prairie Home cruise, but I've been working with a bunch of different folks and doing projects with them. I'm working still with Mike Compton. You can find our work at ComptonandNewberry.com. I just did a CD with my other duo partner, April Virch. April, we put most of our stuff at aprilvirch.com. And, of course, if we have a new CD out called Going Home. If you want to know just about what I'm doing and the Good Clearinghouse for that, I sort of feel all websites should be about me, so my website is joenewberry.me.
joenewberry.me. I like that. Now,
joenewberry.me.
And now you mentioned your other business partner, Joe, and Val. I'm also curious what you have to think about this. But one thing I've also noticed is that whether it's Rhiannon or whether it's you, Val, or whether it's even Reese out of the neo-country kind of stuff, it does seem like there seems to be but there was a time, in my opinion, and correct me if I'm wrong, but there was a time it seems that bluegrass was a little bit overly male-dominated. But it seems like there's starting to be greater women coming to show their influence in bluegrass as well. Is that a misread that I'm getting, or is that something that we're seeing, that there's being more women starting to become more involved in the bluegrass community?
Well, I mean, I guess I could say you're going to think this is kind of funny that I would answer your question like this, but I like to, in today's time, I feel like I can do women the biggest favor by saying it's no big deal. Because I think that it used to be said, oh, it's a big deal, she plays an instrument. But it isn't, because, we could do it all the time. It was always there. We just needed to give ourselves and be given the chance to do it. And so, yeah, there are a lot more women playing today as as there probably always has been, but it's just more, it's just being shown more, and they're being heard more. And I remember I played guitar and was leading a band, like, I think it was 1997. I was in Mississippi, and I got off stage, and these two guys came up to me, and they said, they'd said that I was the first female band leader that they'd ever seen playing an instrument, and I just thought that was the strangest thing. And I'd also had things where I was said, well, we already had one female band here, we can't have any more. And I ran across that a lot throughout my career, and of course that's not the norm anymore, and that makes me so happy. So I don't talk about those times anymore. I think it's because I don't want it to be something that's even remembered, because I think that I would like it for, I guess for today's time, for us just to say, what? Did that happen? No, this is what it is now.
I like that attitude. And another thing I've noticed, Joe, I'm curious to what you think about this, is it seems to me that throughout the country, and definitely we see it in Chapel Hill, I don't know that there's necessarily that many in Durham. You did mention the Arts Council, but it does seem like there's a lot more, for lack of a better term, singer-songwriter kind of clubs. I'm thinking about like Open Eye Cafe in Durham, and even there's places in Raleigh. There are places in the Appalachian area. But it does seem like there are more people, even in the club or restaurant business, that are getting the whole concept that this is a good formula to go into like the singer-songwriter type of environments. Does that seem to be something that you're noticing as well, that there seems to be an uptick in kind of like the coffee house, folklife kind of environment in terms of clubs and stuff? It seems to me that there are more of those than there used to be.
I see a big uptick in singer-songwriter activity, younger, but also folks in their 40s and 50s who've lived a little bit and have stuff to share. I was talking with somebody today about the fact that she's in her 50s and writing all the time, and that's the thing. Music helps us make sense of our world, and I don't know what I would do without music. That said, because anybody can make a CD, they do. So there's a lot of stuff that you have to sort of wade through. But that's actually kind of a good problem to have, I think.
Well, that's the other thing I was going to say, is that I have noticed it was because of the fact that we now have the internet and things of that nature. It does seem like you just alluded to, a lot of folks can make music and don't necessarily, not all the music that is made needs to be out there, but hey, they're making music and they're trying.
I reckon that if they're having as much fun as I am, then it's A-okay. It might not be my cup of tea, but you know what? There's lots of different tastes in music. But what I look for is heart, and when people are playing with heart and they're playing something that has a ring of truth to it, I don't even necessarily have to like it, but I like that they're doing it.
Yes, and I would agree with you on that. There's some styles of music that I may not be the biggest fan of. I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of what some people might call gangster rap or even some types of heavy metal, but I agree with you. If people are giving it that heart and actually going into it with conviction, that oftentimes even outweighs what I may personally think of the musical style. But a lot of times you can just hear that appeal and that conviction that they have in their music, whether it's something that is in my personal taste or not. But you can just hear a lot of times the passion that people have with their art.
Absolutely.
So, Dean, are you ready to go out and start a Bluegrass band? If Dean is still with me. Dean, are you still with me?
He's probably at a festival.
You know
right
what?
Now.
No.
Yeah, he may have run to a festival.
I wouldn't mind checking one out, though.
Say what, Dean?
I wouldn't mind checking one out.
Come on.
Are you ready to start your own band?
Now, I can't play an instrument. I'll run everybody out of there if I try to do that. But, yeah, I grew up listening to all kinds of music, man. So, growing up in Virginia, you kind of listen to some of everything. And
that's right.
I definitely would like to check one of those out and just enjoy the music,
That's right.
It's all about is definitely enjoying the music and checking out the music because there's so much great music around here. And like I said, IBMA, which actually, Joe, is this next year, is that going to be its 5th year? And have we heard not whether they're going to renew the contract for North Carolina or will it go back?
Next year's the 5th year, and they're talking right now, trying to get it ironed out to keep it here for a good long while. It's been a great partnership, and I think they're working as hard as they can to try and get to make all the partners on the same page and do it. I mean that's what I've heard. I have no inside information because, after all, I am a banjo player. So that said, I think that they're working as hard as they can on both sides, from the IBMA and Raleigh, to try and make sure that they keep this partnership going, because it certainly has been a success all around.
Yeah, I understand that it's been such a success that even the city of Raleigh is, I guess, courting other people to try to see if they can get other festivals to come into the area that are musically oriented and things of that nature, just using IBMA as kind of their model to say, look, IBMA was a success when they moved here. Why don't y'all think about moving here? So that kind of going on.
I love the notion that cultural tourists don't know county lines, and so what about making? Let's dream. Dreaming's free. Let's make the Triangle the music capital of the Southeast, where you folks can come to Durham and Raleigh and Chapel Hill, and have incredible musical experiences, eat great food, have great places to stay. They take memories and leave their dollars. That's what we really dig about cultural tourism.
And I would actually argue that we may already be, because when I think of North Carolina,
maybe we're already there.
We've already alluded to several of them. I mean, you got IBMA, kind of starts the festival season around April with the whole jazz hip-hop community. Chicory Hills, the Chapel Hill, which I was at before. Music festival was just incredible. I mean, we're talking like 200 groups, or over 200 groups at like 20-odd venues throughout a little small town of Scarborough. So just to see that going on, and just all these kinds of musical styles. I mean, I was talking to Dean last week that I actually went to hear one of the groups called Rakia, which is a groups of musicians that are into like Scandinavian music, or music from like the Russian, Scandinavian kind of area. And I had made the mistake as an MC. Sometimes you can't do that, but I made the mistake of saying,
Hey, Mark.
Huh?
I think we got somebody else at the door, my brother.
I believe it.
Yeah, it's getting full tonight. Thanks for calling the Voice of the People. Who are we speaking with?
This is Jacoby McDuffie. How's everybody doing?
All right.
We're actually talking about the whole concept of tourism and things of that nature, and how I was actually on the line right now with Joe Newberry and Valerie Smith. They were both involved in the IBMA, which was going on this weekend in Raleigh. That's kind of the Bluegrass meeting and everything. But you, Jacoby, are part of the Durham Bulls organization, and y'all had an event that totally was different, but was also part of the tourism that goes on in this area, because y'all decided that you've got all these folks doing video games, and y'all said, hey, and we got these companies that are about video games, why don't we have a video gaming tournament? So how did that go this weekend?
It actually went really well. I mean, we had a decent-sized turnout, and as a matter of fact, it was actually a great turnout for a first-time event, hopefully leading to much more, because there's a lot of planning and a lot of ideas that are actually going into it, more so than just, hey, we want just straight tourism, because that's one part of it, but then you got the community that you're trying to build into it. So,
right, definitely. And this definitely seems to be, I know you've been over for a while, and, we've had Joe on and Val on this on the line with us as well, but you've also been somebody that's been really involved in the arts and the art community. I mean, the first time I met you, we were, I don't remember the first time we met, we've definitely been involved in the Bull Durham Blues Festival in the past, where you've been one of the MCs along with myself,